Hey guys, so I wanted to come to you today to talk about the principle of effort. I'm like really washed out. I wonder if this video has too much light inside of it or what exactly. Whatever. We'll just kind of make do with it. Hopefully I'm not too like washed out with how bright it is in the room. But it's interesting, right? Really finding that balance between precision and imperfect action. So one thing that most people do, and this is when they're starting their accounting firm, their bookkeeping practice, whatever business that they're doing, oftentimes they ask questions around like, what do I need to do to be perfect? And that's cool in theory, like when you're first thinking, you want to make sure that the work that you're doing is the right amount of work, right? And oftentimes if you're trying to get your first set of results, if you're trying to go from like 0 to about 5K per month and you don't really know what you're doing, it seems like there's this stuff that you just don't really know how to do. It's one thing it feels like you're missing. It's what's that one thing that I'm missing? What's that one thing I'm missing? And a lot of people don't understand. It's not just one thing. It is a system of things that are not really working for you. Now, let's kind of dive into marketing. So a lot of people think that for marketing, they just don't have the right lead channel. They don't have the right set of, the right prospect. They don't have the right way to connect. They don't know how to make the right content. Right there, we just exposed 4 different challenges that you're facing. But it really is going to come down to a couple of things. So number one, you have to choose the right targets, right? So we have to make sure that we're going after the right companies that are going to have not only the money to pay us, but the mindset to pay us as well, right? Because not all companies are created equally. I was speaking to a lady yesterday, and she was working for this food truck, and the food truck was paying her $15 per month. I'm like, what? I didn't want to be disrespectful because I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just so confused. I was like, how can you have a client for $15 a month? And it's just really interesting, to kind of go through that and just kind of like hear her thought process of why that was happening, right? And then she had another client that was paying her like $100 a month. And I'm like, man, these guys. I'm like, when you were first coming in, did you try to charge more money? She said, yeah, they just didn't really want to do it. So I just took whatever rate, they countered with so I could get the clients. So I really wanted to get the clients at the moment in time. And I was just like, man, that sucks. And I told her, I was like, when we're working together inside the mentorship program, like the only goal I have is to make sure that we're in front of, when it comes to marketing, the main goal I have is that we're in front of companies that are between 6, 7, and 8 figures, and A-N-D, capital A, capital N, capital D, the Boolean expression, they need to have the right mentality. Like, they have to come pre-sold on why they need your services, whether it's virtual CFO, whether it's monthly accounting, whether it's bookkeeping, whether it's payroll, whether it's QuickBooks training, whatever service you're offering, we need to make sure that they have fully bought into the process of why they need this, right? And oftentimes what that comes down to is, number one, casting a big pool and a big net around people who actually fit that category and that revenue size, and then creating people that are bought into that, right? A lot of people, they're trying to find the sniper rifle and they're trying to go through like this huge pool of people on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Facebook and try boosh, boosh, boosh. One activity, boosh, gets a client. Another activity gets a client. Right? When instead it needs to be, you need to have a general vicinity of where you're going, and then your content needs to come and educate those people. It's not that we're finding the right person. It's that we're finding someone who has enough money, and then we're creating the mindsets and different things they need in order for them to like really be in alignment with the offer you're trying to make them. Right? They need to really be bought into your service so that once you get them on the phone, then you're able to go make a lot of money. A lot of the times what happens, especially when you're selling like accounting or bookkeeping services, that it's very discretionary, right? Because a lot of them can just go to their, tax accountant at the end of the year. The tax accountant just does the books, just does whatever, just kind of does like just a slapstick job, and then, it's okay, right? Versus they can do it correctly throughout the year by working with someone like yourself. But it's more discretionary. Are they going to do that, or are they just going to be like, I don't really care, I don't really need it, I don't really understand why I need it, I'm just going to my CPA at the end of the year, right? And a lot of people are going to do that. So if you go after the right people, and then you can just start creating beliefs, creating understanding, educating them onto why they should actually have the stuff done right, that's when you start getting a big amount of people starting to come to you. And that's how you can take an audience of 500 people that have enough budget and you just educate them. And you don't need a huge audience. It's just more you need to know what are the right things that you have to do. Now keep in mind, the second thing is it's different for each person, right? So depending on what service you're offering, depending on what your personality is like, you have to approach people differently. Because if you try and be someone else, for example, if you try and like copy the way I do sales, but your personality is one where it's like you're boisterous, you're loud, you like cursing, it's probably not going to work for you, because I generally don't do a lot of cursing when I'm interacting with people on the internet, right? If maybe you are very wordy, like you have a lot of words whenever you talk, you can't get straight to the point. You need to implement a style that actually fits that. For example, there's certain people inside of my program, and like when I listen to them, they have like these long stories. I ask them, how many hours do you spend on XYZ thing? Long story. Versus someone like myself, I'd be like, someone asks me a direct question, I give a direct answer. Right? So my style is built into that. Some people's style is not built into that because that's not how they speak. Now, the reason why you have to find your own style is because the people who come to you are going to be attracted to your style. And that's not only what's going to get them to, number one, sign up with you, but two, sign up with you at a higher price point, and three, stay with you for years to come. Right? That's really the key. So you have to learn how to just become yourself and really find what is the fit that works for you. Now, the next thing that you need to be able to start moving really quickly, right? As soon as you start seeing like something is working, you need to go and hunt as fast as you possibly can. The people who I see, when I just look at the community of accountants and bookkeepers in general, the people who take the longest to move are always the ones that they don't reach a goal, they quit, or they just fall out. It's not that they're bad people, it's not that they're lazy, it's just, it's so hard for you mentally to grow the business if you're constantly doubting yourself, you're constantly restarting, you're constantly trying to build momentum, but you never really get things moving. Versus someone who just says, okay, cool, so I think this is going to work, okay, Bryce told me this thing works, and then they just boom, 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 boom. For example, like Courtney. So I told her to go post in this one Facebook group in her local community, right? And I gave her a post like template. I actually told her exactly what to say. Just copy and paste this thing and post it. She got 7 calls booked within an hour, right, of posting that post. She even got a client within about 24 hours of making that post. But it's speed. You gotta know something works, and you just have to go and do it really quickly. Now, if you don't know what works, that's very, very hard to do, right? Because it's easy for Bryce to say, I've been running my firm since 2014. It's really easy for me to say, you just do what works and you just do it fast. But if you don't know what works, then you can't really do anything fast, because you're just kind of in the zone of, does it work, right? So, I mean, if you want help knowing exactly what to do to grow your business, and you don't want to go and recreate the wheel like most people have to, I recommend you go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you. Now, on these calls, basically what we're going to do is we're going to say, like, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? Thirdly, if I think I can help you out, I'm just going to outline what that process looks like and exactly what it would be like for us to actually reach the goal together. And then if we both agree that it's a good fit, then I'll give you an invitation to join my private mentorship program. Now, if it's not a great time for you for whatever reason, we can at least part as friends. I can point you in the right direction so you know exactly what to do to start, maybe being in a better position. Then when it is a better time, we can work together. Anyway, so that's really it, guys. You just have to start just moving. Like, understand you're not going to do anything perfectly. Number 2, you need to make sure that you're finding what your exact personality is. And then number 3, once you understand what works, or you have at least a glimpse of what works, you need to go and just punch that thing so hard that it has no choice but to react, and reality just kind of bends to your will and to your wants. So hopefully I'll see you inside the next video. Hopefully I'll see you on the call if that's you and you're ready at this moment in time. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you later, okay? Have a great day.